Hello and welcome to another video from the Fantasy Legion. I've got Sean back with me again.
Yep, welcome back.
You all right?
Yeah, feeling good. Yeah, very good. Sorry, we've been away a few days, haven't we? I've not been too well myself.
I know, yeah. You've been suffering, haven't you, with hay fever? You never had it before, have
Yeah,
you?
I've never had that before, and I got it really savagely last week. And, the worst thing is, of course, all the symptoms are the wrong kind of symptoms to have at the moment, aren't they? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Better got to be safe.
Yeah, but I'm fine. It's a Puritan. I think it's called Puritan tablets or something like that.
Claritin, is it?
That's better. Yeah, not Puritan. That's the wrong kind of thing.
You're taking the wrong thing. No wonder you're still suffering.
I've cleansed my soul. That's what I've done.
Anyway, people aren't here to hear about your hay fever. They're here to hear about Deebo Samuel. That's right. About you. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's all about fantasy. Let's go fantasy. Right. Okay, Deebo.
Yeah, I mean, he's struck down.
Nasty. Yeah, it's one of those Jones injuries, bone injuries that he's got in his foot. It's nasty, that. Really nasty. Forecast, doctors' medical, from the information they give you, is 3 to 4 month recovery time. Obviously, he's a relatively young man. Medical history seems to suggest an early recovery time is on his side. But this is an injury that has a very high chance of reoccurrence.
Yeah, that's a worry, isn't it?
And that's a big problem because there's 3 factors to this. The first one is this was only him. They were practicing. They were throwing the ball between him and one of the quarterbacks. So it wasn't as if they were in. They would do it professionally. Of course they would, but it's still not game situation. So that's a problem because the chemistry is not there. And the second thing is, now that you've got this injury, it is definitely going to linger into the beginning of the season. We are 3 months away from the start. So, even at the quickest recovery time, it's the beginning of the season. And he's had no time to practice.
Obviously, fancy terms, there's no Emmanuel Sanders there now. He's going to miss some games. Obviously, he's going to fall down draft boards a little bit. But there'll still be plenty of people buying into him because of, he was a breakout candidate, really. This is really sort of a big setback for him.
It's massive.
Who would be the main beneficiary, do you think, of his injury? Target-wise.
I think it becomes very cloudy. But I think Kittle gets an uptick here because of what's happened.
He'd be the main one, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think he gets the biggest uptick, and then the rest is and I think by quite some margin he gets the uptick, and then other people get a smaller, if you want, boost, which is great.
Let's look at their receivers then. So you've got Kendrick Bourne, who sort of only really sort of featured in the red zone last year. You got Dante Pettis, who they really felt went backwards last year and didn't really feature, and they sort of tried to give him a kick up the backside. So is he somebody that can bounce back? Who are we looking at here at receivers? Does Brandon Ayuk get involved?
Well, I think if I had to pick one of those, 3 that I would, say gets the next biggest uptick on Kittle, I'd go with the young rookie Ayuk because I can't trust the other coach, Deebo. I'm sorry, I can't trust the other chap.
Pettis.
I just can't. Can't trust him. I can't trust him.
But there could be some value there. Pettis did show glimpses in his rookie season that he's going to be a decent player. Totally fell off a cliff last year.
Excuse me.
He barely featured. It's got to add a little bit of, potential.
Well, when your team's worried, there is some big red flags here because when your team is worried about you during the course of a season, when you're playing with them and you're training with them and you're really losing the faith of your coaches. You've had all this off season now. I wonder what you're going to come back like, what game shape you're in. You sound like the candidate of, a lot of what the coaches in terms of the trainers are saying, the ones that work with these players one-to-one are saying that a lot of them are out of shape. A lot of them are out of game shape. A lot of them are coming back very unfit. And coaches get ready for a lot of work. And I'm not saying Deebo was obviously out there practicing. He was trying. But, you can see that there's going to be some big problems here. We did hint at this, that this will be the wild card season, this one.
It's a tricky old thing to predict now, isn't it?
I personally won't be as much. Deebo was on my board. He was one of those players where I was thinking, okay, at a certain price, at a certain value, if he's there, he's definitely worth taking now. That's gone because now that he's got this flag hanging around him and it's a serious one, this injury has a more than 50% chance of reoccurrence straight away and can linger. No chance. So
see, the
sorry,
thing
mate.
is that it's an obvious negative for him, but he's such a good player, and he surely wide receiver one when healthy. That he tempts me in. It's like the AJ Green thing; they tempt me in.
Yeah, but the problem now is that this is the start of the season. So this is a player you've got to take him, and then you probably got to hold on to him for at least the first few weeks of the season, realistically. Then if there's a reoccurrence, you've lost half a season. And as much as his value will fall a little, it probably won't fall enough. So you always preach to me beautifully value.
Yeah,
that's his value. The value will probably be too high for the risk. So I will say
with any player in any draft, you've got to ask yourself, what is the value I'd be happy taking with it? And it can depend on a lot of things: the format of the scoring, how deep the bench is. I mean, if you've only got a 5-man bench, it's hard to carry someone for
I think
5-6 games. People like that.
I think what you hint at is perfect because like in our leagues, this is what's very interesting. I watch a lot of the expert leagues, and I use the word very loosely because really we're all analysts, really. But expert leagues, and often they're looking at players that are simply never there at round 5 or 6 or 7 in our leagues. So we know players like Deebo's will be there when we come to pick because the receivers always are at the right sort of price level or slightly below because of the way our league focuses very much heavier on running back. So he won't be worth his value, and I know that now in our league. He just won't be worth his value. His risk to his value will be too high for me. If somebody else wants to take that risk and it pans out for them, that's well done. So, but I think there might be better value there.
With the well, let's just look at the flip side of the coin. So with Kittle now, you're probably looking at 10 or 15, 20, maybe even more targets potentially. Where would you draft him now?
He has to be the number one tight end now. You have to kind of think he was on the edge of taking over the role.
You've got
I think
Kelsey as well, haven't you? And
yeah, I think they're both brilliant. But I think if you were, a betting man, as they say, then you'd say Kittle probably. You are.
I'm a betting man. Yeah.
Well, I think Kittle would be the one that you would probably say could be the number one tight end for this year. Assuming all goes
what
well.
sort of ADP would you be happy drafting him?
I'm not. That's the problem with him. I'm not happy with his ADP.
He's going to climb now. He's got to climb.
Yeah. It's already too high. The same with Kelsey. They're always very high. And we know that a couple of tight ends go early. So, no. Again, I look for the value, so I'm going much later for these guys. I'll look for a breakout somewhere down the line and take my chances because there's so many packed tight ends that will do a serviceable job.
Well, we'll talk about your breakouts in another video, so stay tuned for that. Well, that's a Deebo Samuel and the 49ers wrapped up in our thoughts. It's a very murky situation now with the receiver core, and well, thanks for your thoughts, Sean. And
no problem. Thanks, Al.
If you're still here, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next one.